welcome to the Tasman District Council meeting for today. If I just open with karakia, tuia ki runga, tuia ki raro, kuia te roto, kuia te waho, tuia tātou te tangata, ki te kapapa o te hui nei, ki te kapapa o te rangi nei, Māori ora, kia tātou katoa. Bind above, bind below, bind within, bind beyond, bind with us, the people, to the purpose of our meeting, to the purpose of this day, breathe life into us all. You should now be all refreshed. Just some housekeeping. So in terms of our toilets are just out the door to the left. If there's an emergency, our assembly pointers will go through the exit and we'll follow one of the staff actually, but just outside. Where is our exit point? Can somebody remind me? Car park?
We reached this exit.
And just out here?
Well, we're meant to be going over to the car park.
Okay, we'll meet in the car park and we'll follow the team.
We could meet over in the park over there.
Yeah, just acknowledging we have councillors Greening and councillors Morgan online. So just in terms of microphones on mute and noting that we have this available video on YouTube later today. Toilets we've done. So I've got apologies from Councillor Ellis and Mayor Kim. Can I have somebody to move the apologies, please? Councillor Ferniehouse, seconded Councillor Kinnamoth. All those in favour, please say aye. Aye. So there's a change to the order of business. So we're going to go into the confidential part of the meeting first in terms of, because our guests are here now, and for timing, but we have no public forum. Are there any declarations of interest? Being none. So we'll go to the confirmation of minutes. So the confirmation of minutes of the Golden Bay Mohua Ward Classifications of Reserves hearing panel of the 4th of June. If I come to Councillor Butler or Councillor Hume, are you happy to move those? Moved by Councillor Hume, seconded by Councillor Butler. All those in favour say aye. Aye. Against, carried. The minutes of the Tasman District Council 11th of June 2026, a mover. Councillor Kinnamoth, seconded by Councillor Mailing. All those in favour, please say aye. Aye. Against, carried. And the Tasman District Council minutes of the 25th of June, a mover. Councillor Ferniehouse, seconded. Councillor Hume. All those in favour, please say aye. Aye. Against, carried. That brings us to our confidential meetings. So in terms of confirms in accordance with sections 48.5 and 48.6 of the Local Government and Official Information and Meetings Act 1987, that Miriana Stevens, Ropata Stevens and Johnny Wilson from Whakawera be permitted to remain after the public has been excluded for item 8.1 of the confidential agenda. Whakawera Relationships presentation in order to make their presentation, and that the public be excluded from the following parts of the proceedings of this meeting: the general subjects of each of the matters to be considered while the public is excluded, the reasons for passing this resolution in relation to each matter, and specific grounds under section 48.1 of the Local Government and Official Information and Meetings Act 1987 for passing of this resolution. This resolution is made in reliance on section 48.1a of the Local Government and Official Information and Meetings Act and the particular interests or interests protected by section 6 or 7 of that Act, which would prejudice by holding of the whole or relevant parts of the proceedings of the meeting in public. Somebody to move, please. All clap. Moved by Councillor Mailing, seconded by Councillor Kinnamoth. All those in favour, please say aye. Aye. Against, carried. So can we just make sure now that we are in confidential, so there's nobody in public forum, there's only council. and we'll reconvene at item 7.1. Welcome, Anna.
Kia ora koutou. I'm going to take this report as read, but first I just want to ask if the chair of the hearing panel, Councillor Butler, or another member of the panel, Councillor Hume, would like to say any words before we
Councillor Butler.
have to.
Thank you, Chair. And I'd like to express my appreciation to staff for all the hard work. And we're actually just at the beginning because we've got all the management plans to do yet. But I think it's been a very important development for our community because a lot of coastal reserves have now been formally classified in a way that actually acknowledges the really important Maori, the importance of these coastal reserves to Maori in their history, and that is, I think, has been a very important step forward. And also, we have a couple of changes to Totara Avenue to try and protect the totara trees there. But anyway, we'll move forward later in the year onto the management plan. So, yeah, I'm happy to move. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Butcher. Councillor Hume.
Just to follow up on Celia's, it was a good outcome. A lot of the community were there, and it was a good outcome for the community, recognising some of the cultural heritage and historical places that will be put up, so people do know about those areas, but locals already know, so they do look after the area anyway. It was just a good outcome. Cheers.
You happy to second, Councillor Hume? Maybe just say yes in your talking stick.
Yes.
Thank you. Discussion, questions? None. Okay, so it's been moved by Councillor Butler, seconded by Councillor Hume. Again, thank you for the work of the staff and the panel members. Thank you, Councillor Butler, for your chairing of the hearings. So that being said, all those in favour, please say aye.
Aye.
Against? Carried.
How quick is that?
7.2. Who are we expecting? Amy. Okay. Amy.
Going at pace.
She's just coming.
It's a long weekend.
Okay, 7.2 internal audit plan. Welcome, Amy.
Thank you. So this paper is around the internal audit plan, and it sets out the internal audits and reviews planned for this year. These were aligned to our high risk areas, and this was endorsed by Audit and Risk on the 30th of June. Happy to take any questions.
Questions? Somebody happy to move from Audit and Risk? Councillor Butler, happy to move?
Yes, I'm happy to move, and I just would like to endorse the importance of audit in this day and age particularly. So, yeah.
Councillor Greening.
Thank you, Chair. I just wanted to ask why the DIP program, digital program with $15 million and ongoing spending still coming, wasn't on the audit program. I think that's a high strategic risk.
So, Leonie, Chief Executive.
Through the chair, we've had a review of the DIP program, and that has already gone to Audit and Risk last year, I believe, and I think it came to full council. So there has been a review done. I imagine there may be one again in the future, but we would have to, and that would be an external organisation would do that. So we're also limited in our budgets as well. So I'm happy to share that review again with the elected members.
I think that would be useful. I do think it needs to go on the list at some point, if not this year, then next year, given what's been lined up and what's been spent since that review. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Greening. Councillor Kinnamoth.
Thank you, through the chair. Amy, I presume AI is a brand new one that's been added from the previous one. Do you want to talk quickly about that, what your intentions are?
Yes, we have an AI policy We've had it for a while, but there's been a revision recently, and we just want to make sure that staff are adhering to the policy, if there are any gaps, and if there are things we can do better.
Thank you. And one quick little question. All your resources on your table, page, I can't read this bloody thing, whatever it is all internal, but for the Three Waters business unit compliance, you're getting external resources. Are you able to let us know who these external resources are, or approximately what costs they're going to be?
We haven't gone out to anyone at this stage, but it's likely that we would need specialist resources like a legal firm or something like that to have a look at the compliance from a legal point of view. Potentially, we'd be looking at scoping that audit closer to the time.
This is very specialised, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? Happy to second from the chair. Any other questions? Going? Okay, move Councillor Butler, seconded by the chair. All those in favour, please say aye.
Aye.
Against? Carried. 7.3. I think Chris and Amy are staying there. Risk appetite.
So following on from the workshop we held in May, I took feedback back, some of the challenges you gave me, and I've made changes to the risk appetite statement. So that's in looking at what the scales were, looking at the language used, adding in a where we draw the line. And we've taken that back to, I've taken it to Audit and Risk, who endorsed it on the 30th of June. And I just want to note that the risk appetite statement is intended to be really high level, so it's the start of a conversation. So it's where we communicate. You communicate to staff about the risk you're willing to accept at a high level, and then there are conversations underneath about more detail in particular situations. But this is the start of a conversation, and it gives staff a resource to understand what your minimum expectations are around risk appetite. I'm happy to take any questions.
Councillor Councillor Kinnamoth.
Thank you, Amy. I see in clause 20, you no specific engagement with iwi, but we've just been signing off this morning on an MOU with iwi. Hapu, oh, I can't, I give up. Okay, it's Hapu, sorry. So, so maybe we need to change this iwi engagement to iwi and Hapu engagement. And secondly, and maybe that might have to go through a lot of our documents, but just thinking, how are we going to include Hapu in this relationship? Because we've just been told that it's going to be, say, once every 6 months I will come along and we'll chat more. But obviously, when it comes to building relationships, it starts with more than that. So do you intend to go and have a cup of tea with them and talk about it? Give me a heads up what's going to happen.
Amy?
So not particularly in specific reference to this risk appetite statement, no. However, we also have strategic risks for council, and our relationships with Māori and iwi and our treaty obligations are one of those risks. So in that way, that risk is owned by Leonie, and we work with Renee and her team to make sure that those relationships are captured and that staff are working on those relationships. Yeah.
Thank you, Amy. Councillor McMurray.
Thanks, through the chair. So I'm just wondering where we got you took away from the workshop the general guide of how you've drawn this up. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, at a high level. So I understood some of the challenges that you mentioned, that you all mentioned, and I pulled that into a document.
Yeah. I guess, for example, like legal and regulatory compliance, we're taking a balanced view, risk, open investigations, ombudsman, privacy, and etc. And then community trust and relationships, the number of legoimas, we've dropped that down to a receptive. I'm just not sure I'm necessarily comfortable with the direction we're going. And then under financial, we got a balanced view of unplanned operational overspend or underspend on capital investment. I guess I'm probably not as comfortable as audit and risk with some of these decisions.
Are you suggesting hasn't been moved or seconded yet?
Well, I'm open to what other people are thinking, but for me, I'm not sure we're loosening up in some of the right areas.
Councillor Green?
Thank you, Chair. Just wanted just to clarify. So when it went to audit, was audit shown the track changes between the original and what was revised?
Through the chair, no, because the changes were significantly different to what the previous version was, so it wasn't worth showing track changes.
Right. Because that's always useful to see that there were changes, even if they were quite dramatic. That would have been obviously be an immediate indication. So when we had that feedback, there was some concerns raised that the feedback provided to councillors on the risks we wanted to take were mixed in with the ELT feedback on risk. So was that pulled out so that it only reflected the EC members' opinion, or was it still all mixed in together to finalise the end result?
I believe that I've presented what I presented represents what I heard from elected members in the most part. ELT's feedback was really to not influence, but to provide you with input from their perspective as well. If I haven't captured what you believe is your risk appetite, then I'm very happy to hear what is different. Thank you.
Right. Okay. So I will probably, maybe we leave this on the table then, because I just need to go back to my original notes and just see where we landed it. My concern was we weren't really, would be useful to see the track changes and just to get some acknowledgement of that. If the staff aren't sure, then I don't think how councillors can be sure on the day either. So I just wonder whether we go back to our original notes if we have the opportunity, or maybe councillors are quite happy to pursue it. But I would prefer that maybe we come back, given we haven't got clarity from staff exactly the approach that was taken.
Thanks, Councillor Green. I'm actually happy to move it from the chair. And as a member of the Audit and Risk, I think perhaps what Councillor Green might be referring to, Amy, was, remember that was that chart that had ELT and elected members in the top row that Councillor Neubauer raised, and the discussion around that in terms of that diagram. I think that may be the conversation that's being alluded to, but certainly this went through Audit and Risk. There was a lot of discussion from members around this table on Audit and Risk about it. Chris.
Thank you. Through the chair. Yeah, the feedback from Audit and Risk was quite encouraging of elected members adopting a risk appetite framework, and also an acknowledgement that, look, it'll be a bit of a journey. It might take a couple of years to embed the process around having a risk appetite. The useful aspect of having one is that it provides you with a point of reference for decision making and all sorts of things that you're contemplating around the table. So look, at there's an acknowledgement it may not be perfect now, and it might change over time. So
Thanks, Chris. Councillor Wheniho, then Councillor Neubauer.
Thank you. Through the chair, and thanks for this. I remember all the work that we did on this, including there was a link set out where each one of us went through, executive leadership team was invited, elected members were invited, where we each went in and filled out for project performance for each one of these markers what our risk appetite was. That was then brought back to us in a workshop where we worked on it all day. It has then been brought back to Audit and Risk Committee. I believe that we've done quite a bit of work on this, and I'm happy to second it.
Thank you, Councillor Wheniho. Councillor Neubauer.
Yeah, just for the record, I'm also on Audit and Risk, and I abstained from this side at the time because I felt that more work was needed on this, and that the outcomes that we had from that workshop weren't easily captured in this sort of format. So, but obviously the majority of audit and risk found that it would be more helpful to have this guidance than not. So that's basically where it's at.
Thank you, Councillor Webber. Other questions? Okay, so it's been moved by the Chair, seconded by Councillor Fernyhough. All those in favour, please say aye. Aye. Against?
Against.
Carried. I think I heard 2 against. Yeah.
Yep.
Thank you.
Might have been 3. Thank you.
Thank you. That's so carried. Thank you, Amy and Chris. The mural update. Zoom in, Mayor Tim. So 7.4, we are there. So take the Mayor's report as read, and I can't answer any of the questions in the Mayor's report other than draw your attention to the remits before you in terms of LGNZ. What I'm going to do is ask Councillor Mailing to speak to this first. Councillor Mailing's been our representative at the AGMs where these remits have been discussed for a number of years at LGNZ. And then, so after Councillor Mailing's spoken, then we're going to work through one by one to see if we support them or not, and then rank them. But I think the clear suggestion from Councillor Mailing is that 3 or 4 of them is probably as many as we want to ratify in terms of volume and the importance, and that there's no way 10's workable. So if there's some that are absolutely more important to this council, we're probably better to rank those and drop the others. But let's see how it goes. Councillor Mailing.
Right. Thank you, Mr. Deputy Mayor. I think I've been the council representative about 4 times, and they started the ranking at the last AGM. Part of the problem is there are too many remits come in that can be actually dealt with by local government New Zealand. So you get too many remits, and they didn't have priorities before, and nothing gets done, and it doesn't seem to have much effect. So they brought in a ranking system last time, but we still ended up with what I believe are far too many remits for work to be done on them. So I read through them all yesterday, and I thought there were 3 or 4 that had some real value for us going forward, and ones that are of concern for other councils. In particular, the Dog Control Act was one. There's some serious problems in parts of the country with dog control, and in our district, I sat on that subcommittee for 6 years, and we saw an increase in dog attacks, a large increase. So to me, dog control, and in parts of Northland and Auckland, they've got major problems dealing with dogs. So that was one that I thought of the 10 was important. The other one, the next one I thought that was really important was financial support in terms of implementation for government reform. The bill for us for the new RMA is going to be about $10 million. And this is being imposed on by central government, and they want us to do it very quickly. So it's a real imposition on ratepayers right across the country. They need to hear about that. So I thought that was a priority as well. Let's have a look at the next one. The other one I thought that was really important was improving the long-term plan audit requirements. That's a real burden on councils that's imposed again by central government, and there appears to be duplication. So if you look at the remit, it talks about standardisation and making it simpler. I think that's a benefit to councils again right across the country. Those were the 3 most important ones that I actually thought in terms of going forward, but I'm sure others have got some other views. But some of them, like there's one about getting government to help support people with sister cities. Sorry, I don't see that as a priority. To me, we need to, local government in New Zealand needs to focus on some really key areas where they can lobby government and actually make a difference rather than having a scattergun approach. So only the top 3 or 4 of them will actually get some work. I identified those 3 in particular. The other one was that we thought possibly was the representation review requirements, depending on your changing of population. But that was sort of my fourth one. So to me, it was important that we identify the ones we think are most important, top 3 or 4, and concentrate on those and hope that other councils do something similar, because otherwise you get the scattergun approach and they just haven't got the resources because they haven't got a bigger membership as they had. So with Auckland and Christchurch not being there, they haven't got the people in the background to do the work. So having sat there the last 4 years and then gone through these remits, those were what I thought. So others might have a different view, but to me, any more than 4 and you're actually wasting your time.
Thanks, Councillor Manning. Councillor Greenie?
Thank you, Brent. I can talk to these, but I also just want to signal that I'd like to move an amendment also to the main motions and add an additional motion. And the additional motion I'd like to add is, as you'll be aware, I made some inquiries some time ago about the delegations register. At the time, we were told it was megabytes and megabytes of data. I obtained a list from staff of the versions since 2016. There are around 53 to 63 versions provided. If you look at the last version of the delegations register, it's about 606 kilobytes. And if you do the simple calculation of number of versions against that kilobyte size, you come to about 37 megabytes, which is half the size of the last information forum report, which I think on 6 June was 81 megabytes. So I'd like to move a motion, an amendment, adding in an additional clause that seeks to publish all versions of the delegations register from 2016 onwards.
I'm lost, Councillor Manning. What motion? Oh, sorry, Councillor Greenie. Actually, I really am lost. Where are you? What page are you on in the agenda, and what are you amending?
So there is on page 68 and 69 some motions to receive the report and to provide guidance on remits and to propose support for amendments and also appoints Dean to a Waimea South Community Facility. I'd like to add a motion 5 that agrees to publish all versions of the delegations register.
Sorry, Councillor Greenie. I'm just seeking some advice from my right-hand side.
Yeah, sure.
So, Councillor Greenie, the advice I've had is that there's no mention of the delegations in the Mayor's report, which is the Mayor's report, that the amendment of that type would be out of scope. So I guess my suggestion is that forward to the next council meeting.
Then? Yeah. Can we seek a report then on the delegations register?
You can request a report through a means. There's a workshop.
I can send it by email, or I can say it now. I mean, it's up to you, really.
My preference, Councillor Greenie, if you could send it by email to the Chief Executive, recognising there's a workshop on delegations coming up, that will help me in terms of having to put my head into standing orders and get a hold of advice. So if you're happy to do that, that would be very much appreciated by the Chair.
Yeah,
but noted.
Not a problem. It's a pretty straightforward one, which is
email's
concern
great.
raised. Yeah, the concern raised was the size. It's definitely not a size issue. It's half the size of an information forum agenda.
Yeah, got that. Email's perfect because now we're talking about something that I've just ruled out of scope. So thank you for following
So
that.
then I'll just move to the other elements that you raised, which is the remits. I do want to just suggest that we don't support. I mean, how do you want to do this? Do you want each councillor to talk through what they support and what they don't support and the ranking of it, or
Yeah, we'll go through one by one, but if there's something specific you want to talk about generally, Councillor Marling's given an indication, but we will go A through to I, seeking an indication whether we wish to support or reject it.
Okay. Okay. Well, I'll just quickly make some points then, which are I think the removal of representation review is in relation to simplifying local government, which doesn't affect us, so we should continue with a review. So I wouldn't support that. And Councillor Mailing mentioned, I think, Resolution Remit 6F, enhanced role for government in supporting subnational diplomacy. I do think, and I'm not too sure exactly they've worded it right, but I do think there needs to be better alignment between the Ministry of Trade and Enterprise, whatever they're calling themselves these days. Never too sure. They seem to get merged all over the place. And councils alignment, because we have councils going off doing sister city visits that don't necessarily line up with international trade, and having a delegation and support would be quite useful, and also aligning that. I know they do that in the larger councils like Wellington and Auckland, where they actually have ministry officials going along with the mayors. I just make that point. And I also think in relation to the others, I think we should be focusing on the financing and funding ones. But I'll signal that as we go through them. It was just remit 4, 5 and 6 that I had tension with.
I think you get to credit. Councillor Wood.
Thank you, through the chair. My question, I support Kit's proposal around limiting our focus. I think that's a sensible approach. But during the course of our workshop discussions and council meetings, there's been a number of discussions where remits were coming from this council and picked up on by Mayor Tim. I remember one of them might have been the drones. Another one was sharing the look at the compliance costs around Three Waters. So can we answer what happened after we had those discussions and the idea of a remit was put together from this council? What happened to those?
Leonie, can you answer? So has there been any formal pickup of any suggestions of remits from Tasman District Council to LGNZ?
Not that I'm aware of, but we can certainly get information for you.
So just following on, okay, so I thought some of the takeouts was we were forming remits. What is the process for us to form a remit from this council?
I'm coming to Leonie, and if you can find somebody to answer that, would be handy.
To the chair, my understanding is, and we haven't had one through here, but we can, an elected member could bring one forward, and then council would then agree that they wanted to put the remit forward, and then they would submit it into Local Government New Zealand, and it would end up on this list. See there?
Celia.
Thank you. Yeah, just there were some very initial discussions among a couple of staff, which I was aware of, about possibly a remit as regards government providing some funds for adaptation to extreme weather events. And so I became aware of the requirements through that, and you actually have to have 5 councils who support your remit before it can be accepted. It's quite a business to get a remit actually accepted, or you have to, it's quite a process you've got to go through, a very set process for LGNZ to accept a remit, but you need to have 5 councils.
Thank you, Councillor Butler. So perhaps the next point from this is, can somebody just please circulate the process should we want to, in the future, submit a remit to LGNZ? how that happens, what the process is, and what we need to do if we need to do that. But taking Councillor Wood's point, as I remember the drones conversation out of a workshop going, this needs to be driven nationally. Okay. Councillor Neubauer.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, on that point, I 100% agree with Councillor Woods, and I was actually surprised not to see any remits from Tasman District Council in here, because I thought we were fairly clear that's what we were hoping to achieve, but maybe we haven't quite followed the process. It'd be good to have that clarity going forward, absolutely. Now, in terms of what's in front of us, one remit that I think we should absolutely support is the bulk funding transport activities, because essentially land use and transport strategies need to be linked. And at the moment, the way it's working, transport is very much negotiated with Wellington, whereas we hold the authority over land use. So if we have more influence on how and where we want to spend transport budgets, we may get quite different outcomes. So I would very much hope that this council can prioritise that.
Thank you, Councillor Neubauer. So if there is, let's go. Oh, sorry, Councillor Finnegan.
Thanks. Just quickly, I am also in agreement that Remit 3, the financial support for government reform. I also agree with Remit 7, the bulk funding of transport activities. I agree with the audit requirements. The one that I understand prioritization, but the vape retailers is definitely an area that I do wonder about, especially considering we have our alcohol bylaws, we have our gambling bylaws. I do wonder if Central isn't going to crack down harder on vape retailers, if that is going to become something that is important for us to look at, especially having them right next to schools. But I suppose it depends on how many we want to put forward. So the ones that have the strongest financial implications for us, definitely Remit 3 is my priority.
Okay, so let's go through them line by line, and if anybody wants to speak, put their hand up. If any, otherwise an indication is fine. Oh, Councillor Greening, something first?
Yeah, just from a process perspective, it might have been useful to actually do a quick survey before we got into this meeting on where we rank these.
I guess predetermination's a risk, isn't it? We're going to have that survey in person starting right now. So
Yeah, just to save time. That's all. But,
gotcha. So if we look at remit number 1, which is marked as A in terms of our resolution, which is Priorities for Dog Control Act reform. What are the views in terms of how we're going to do this? How about hands up if you think it's important, hands down if you don't. So this is Priorities for Dog Control, Act reform. Remit 1. Yeah.
So
Through the chair, I think a lot of these are important, and I would then put my hand up and support a lot of them, but I also understand Councillor Mayling's perspective that we need to narrow down our scope. So I don't know if it would be worth saying we are going to pick your top 3 or pick your top 4, or because otherwise my hand will go up for all and it's not going to be very helpful.
That's okay. I think if we do that, if we put our hand up for them all, then we can decide whether, based on numbers of shows of hands, whether we have a discussion about actually rejecting them or supporting them and then ranking them. I just think that's probably quicker. And if Kels can count the hands, that'd be awesome. So if we go slowly,
Mr. Chair,
it sounds like you can. Yes. Yep.
Yeah. Which is maybe we just signal the ones that we support and don't support, so we weed out the ones that we don't want, and then maybe the resolution merely suggests that councillors email back their rank, and then it's collated, and then that is the rank. I think going to be here all day.
This needs to be a resolution of council. Councillor Greening. So just humour me for a second. Let's go for the count of hands through the first wave. And you've allowed me a lot of time in terms of the haste and the great decision making we've made to date. So we've got some time for this. We can be here till 4 o'clock. Okay. So Councillor Morgan and Councillor Greening, do you want to put your cameras on and put your hand up, or do you just want to go thumbs up on the screen? Either or, in terms of as we go through.
Well, I can be really clear. I really only don't support 2 of them.
Oh, no, let's
which
go one by
is
one. We'll see it. Okay, so let's.
okay.
Oh, actually, can I come over to you, Kelsey? Because you're going to count them. Can you go through them one by one? Or yes or no? Is it hard for you? That's called delegation, Mr. Kirby.
So this is for remit 1. Right, Councillor Woods.
4.
Councillor Walker.
4.
Councillor Neubauer.
4.
Councillor Morgan.
4.
Councillor McNamara.
Against.
Councillor Mayling.
4.
Councillor Kinnenmonth.
4.
Councillor Hume.
4.
Councillor Gully.
Against.
Councillor Greening.
4.
Councillor Fernyhough.
4.
Councillor Butler.
4.
Deputy Mayor Maru.
4.
Yeah, that's carried. So, nah, I just need to make sure.
So just while Kelsey's getting that, just so we're clear of what I think the process is, we're going through these. If there's a majority that are there, it will be supported. And then we'll come back to all the ones that are supported and have a discussion whether out of those supported ones, do you want to rank them or do you want to shrink them down further?
Might be easier to just vote against. You might get a shorter vote call.
Remit 2. Councillor Woods.
4.
Councillor Walker.
Against.
Councillor Neubauer.
4.
Councillor Morgan.
4.
Councillor McNamara.
Against.
Councillor Mayling.
Against.
Councillor Kinnenmonth.
Against.
Councillor Hume.
Against.
Councillor Gully.
Against.
Councillor Greening.
4.
Councillor Fernyhough.
4.
Councillor Butler.
Against.
Deputy Mayor Maru.
Against.
It's lost.
Government regulation of vapes. Didn't even
5-8.
cost us a cent.
Remit 3. Councillor Woods.
4.
Councillor Walker. 4. Councillor Neubauer.
4.
Councillor Morgan.
Against.
Councillor McNamara.
4.
Councillor Mayling.
4.
Councillor Kinnenmonth.
4.
Councillor Hume.
4.
Councillor Gully.
4.
Councillor Greening.
4.
Councillor Fernyhough.
4.
Councillor Butler.
4.
Deputy Mayor Maru.
4.
Carried.
Just a point of order on the next one. So it doesn't affect
Doesn't
us.
affect us.
We have to do one anyway.
Correct. So are you suggesting that probably the votes are going to be against this one?
I was just clarifying the position that we're in.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just to clarify also, Chair, we're not saying that a representation review should not occur. It's just it should not occur for those entities under reform.
Correct. That's the remit. So this one, is there anyone that's
Well, it doesn't quite say that. You see, it says during simplifying, which would capture everyone, not just those under reform.
Actually, I think you are correct, Councillor Green. Is there any staff member that are over the detail of that remit? But I think Councillor Greening's take is correct, because at the moment Tasman is required to have a representation review because of the Māori ward. So this could have an impact on this council.
But not under that.
But it's
Perhaps we just have an instruction to abstain because it doesn't affect us.
is the room
affect us.
is the room happy to abstain from this one as a whole?
Well, I should support it
Yeah,
myself.
carried.
Yeah.
There.
Yes.
Actually, I just want to check in terms of abstaining. Does that mean that we're going to reject it? Because I'm faced with two.
Well, that's the dilemma, because if it gets through, then basically we've got all of local government supporting a non-review, and that means we would then be not reviewed. It's bizarre.
Yeah.
I really think the remit needs to be better worded.
It's not clear enough. That's why I voted against it.
Yeah, I love this free talk. If I can just come to somebody that can give me some advice on the table, do we have the option of abstaining, or do we have to make a decision in terms of supporting or reject? Because that's
I could say. I think I can recall some councils not voting on remits. So some were for, some were against, and not generally 100% vote. So there is whether that's technology, because you've got fancy buttons that you've got to push, but I can certainly recall different councils not appearing not to vote.
okay.
Well,
If we,
Paul,
I've got this. So in terms of Kelsey, if we can just amend that to council abstained from remit 5. Thank you.
well, I actually think I just taking on board what Councillor Morgan just said. Maybe we need to oppose it, otherwise we'll be bound by it.
Oh my goodness. Okay, let's go around the table. We were there a second ago. If we're not happy to abstain, we're going to go around the table. Are we going around the table?
Well, yeah. Well, I just think we need to go back to
That's
the
just through
local
the chair,
government and say
Marcus.
this remission is poorly drafted.
Okay, let's go around the table, Kels. So E, support or reject? Sorry, D. Remit 4.
Councillor Woods,
Against.
Councillor Walker, Councillor Neubauer,
Against?
Councillor Morgan,
Against.
Councillor McNamara,
For.
Councillor Mayling,
Against.
Councillor Kinnenmont,
For.
Councillor Hume,
Or
Councillor Gully,
Against.
Councillor Greening,
Against.
Councillor Fernyhough, Councillor Butler, Deputy Mayor Maru,
Against.
lost. Yeah. Remit 5, Councillor Woods,
Against.
Councillor Walker,
Against.
Councillor Neubauer,
Against.
Councillor Morgan,
Against.
Councillor McNamara,
For.
Councillor Mayling,
against.
Councillor Kinnenmont,
Against.
Councillor Hume,
Against.
Councillor Gully,
Against.
Councillor Greening,
Against.
Councillor Fernyhough,
Against.
Councillor Butler,
Against?
Deputy Mayor Maru,
Against.
lost. Hang on a second. Remit 6, Councillor Woods,
For.
Councillor Walker, Councillor Neubauer,
Against.
Councillor Morgan,
For.
Councillor McNamara,
Against.
Councillor Mayling,
Against.
Councillor Kinnermont,
Against.
Councillor Hume,
Against.
Councillor Gully,
Against.
Councillor Greening,
For.
Councillor Fernyhough,
Against.
Councillor Butler,
Against.
Deputy Mayor Maru.
4.
Lost.
Just
Remit 7. Councillor Woods,
what's the difference between this one and the I?
Sorry, question?
G and I. What's the difference?
One's transport, one's broader.
Kirby.
The difference between these two, the first one, if you go to bulk funding, would probably negate the last one, because the bulk funding, they would just give you the funding for all the transport activities, and then you can decide how you're going to spend it. The last one about the uneconomic transport infrastructure funding is specifically around uneconomic, like they quote a bridge that serves 1 or 2 properties that's uneconomic and NZTA won't fund it. So that's what number 9's about. But that would become default under the bulk funding, particularly if the criteria was that they give you 50% or 51% in our case of your funding, and you can allocate whatever you like with it. It's all around the criteria around the bulk funding, but it might negate I.
Thank you, Mr. Kirby.
Support both.
Okay, back to you, Kels.
Remit 7. Councillor Woods,
4.
Councillor Walker,
4.
Councillor Neubar,
4.
Councillor Morgan,
4.
Councillor McNamara,
4, although I question the successful end of it.
Councillor Mayling,
4.
Councillor Kinnermont,
4.
Councillor Hume,
4.
Councillor Gully,
4.
Councillor Greening,
For.
Councillor Fernyhough,
4.
Councillor Butler,
4.
Deputy Mayor Maru.
4.
Carried. Remit 8. Councillor Woods,
4.
Councillor Walker,
4.
Councillor Neubar,
4.
Councillor Morgan,
4.
Councillor McNamara,
4.
Councillor Mayling,
4.
Councillor Killenmont,
4.
Councillor Hume,
4.
Councillor Gully,
4.
Councillor Greening,
For.
Councillor Fernyhough,
4.
Councillor Butler,
4.
Deputy Mayor Maru.
4.
Carried. Remit 9. Councillor Woods,
4.
Councillor Walker,
4.
Councillor Neubar,
Against.
Councillor Morgan,
4.
Councillor McNamara,
4.
Councillor Mayling,
Against.
Councillor Kinnermont,
4.
Councillor Hume,
4.
Councillor Gully,
4.
Councillor Greening,
For.
Councillor Fernyhough,
4.
Councillor Butler,
Against.
Deputy Mayor Maru.
4.
Carried.
Right. how many have we got up on the screen that have passed? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so now, are you happy that we keep 5 in, and you just want to prioritise the 5 we've got? Or do you want to reduce them? Thoughts, discussions?
I think we just prioritise them and then just see how it goes.
Can I take a stab in terms of if we are prioritising, are we looking at Remit 3, financial support for government reform as being the top one? Is there any opposition, any difference in opinion? Councillor Woods?
It's a close 1 and 2 between improving LTP audit requirements for me. So I was going to go LTP number 1 and your one number 2, but I'm happy either way, provided LTP comes in at number 2.
Councillor Novell?
I have a feeling from the vote that Remit 7 was almost at the top.
I don't think we topped them. I just think we just went yes or no. But Kels?
Maybe majority. More people voted
Just call them out.
for or against.
Okay, so let's go. So far, I haven't heard any opposition to Remit 3. I've heard a proviso opposition.
No, I'm in opposition. This morning I heard the presentation of the LGA with the UK example. They got nothing, absolutely nothing in their process. And my sense of the discussion is the government's not going to give us, well, those participating in it, we're not in it. And I think there's a greater strategic interest to advocate for revenue through LGA on other aspects of revenue that should be coming to councils, including TDC, like GST on tourism. So it's a question of priorities for remits for me.
Thanks, Councillor Morgan. Okay, so I think I've heard 2 no's. Everybody else, tentatively, Remit 3. Oh, Councillor Kinnamoth?
Through you, Mr. Chairman, sir, I'm a bit worried about this process. After listening to Councillor Mailing talk, is that around the table in the local government forum, you push a button whether you're for or against. You don't actually prioritise which ones.
They do. It's a long tables of chair. I've sat with Councillor Manning a couple of times. Okay. It's a long, big room.
Okay, well, I'll back off.
So the prioritisation is important.
Yeah.
Councillor McNamara.
So, like Councillor Morgan, I question the outcomes. So we can put these remits in, but if we're going to put in one like the bulk funding of transport activities, I'm not sure we're going to have any success. The same with the apparently the financial support for government reform. So are we going to weight our things as to ones that we think we might actually get traction on, or are we just ones we ideally would like to see in a nice world?
We could do either, and I guess this isn't dissimilar to our community who submit on long-term plans and annual plans. Is that this is our ability to submit. This is the work that LGNZ will do, and the government will ultimately make a decision as they see fit. But your point is, in terms of if we rate something high, it's got more chance to get in, which would have an impact on us. I suspect, and my gut feeling says that Remit 3, regardless of our vote, will be in the top echelon of the submissions to LGNZ. Councillor Neuber, and then we do need to move in terms of some form of order.
Yeah, look, just in response to Councillor McNamara's valid point there, I think even if a remit is not successful, it's an opportunity for LGNZ to shine a light on a significant problem. So I think we need to decide whether that problem is significant enough to elevate it to that level, and I believe Remit 7 definitely is.
Okay, so this is going to be a monotonous process. I think I've got it. Councillor Butler?
From the point of view of what is actually likely to be taken up by the government, I actually think that the Dog Control Act reform is the most likely. That's just from what I understand. They've actually been talking about Dog Control Act reform, and if there can be a push from LGNZ, from the councils, then I think that's the most likely thing of all of these to actually get some to be taken up by the government.
I'm going to try another. I'm going to test another thought. So we have 5 remits that this council has agreed to support. As part of that process, the mover gets, or the person gets to speak to these as part of the AGM in terms of the remits in front of them before the vote occurs. Yeah. If council is comfortable, you could leave the discretion of the ranking to the mayor to do on the day. Okay then, so I'm gonna then put it to you that the highest ranking remit for Tasman District Council is remit number 3, which is clause C. Is all those in favour, please say aye. Aye. Against?
Aye.
Carried. Okay. I'm looking for somebody. I think the suggestion is the LTP audit is the second highest priority one, moved by Councillor Woods. I'm happy to second it. All those in favour, please say aye. Aye. Against?
Aye.
Done. Right. I'm looking for a third. Moved by Councillor Manning that dogs, seconded by Councillor Hume. Nodding his head. All those in favour say aye. Aye. Against?
Against.
Show of hands for aye. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Councillor Butter? 6. I think there's 6, so I think that's lost, isn't it? How many have we got in the room? Against? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh.
What about on the screen? On the screen?
That's 6 on the screen, isn't it? 2 online, 4 in the room. 6. Yeah. Lost. The next one. So who's proposing number 3? So that one was lost. So what's
Transport.
moved by Councillor Neubauer? What 1? G?
7.
Bulk funding first, isn't it?
Remit 7. Second for Remit 7.
Second.
Oh, yeah. Councillor Greening. All those in favour, please say aye.
Aye.
Against? I think it's carried.
Yep.
Number 4. Dogs, mailing.
Wouldn't.
This is the process. We're there.
Yeah, I just want to make sure that we're lining up, given the comments about the relationship between 7 and 9, that maybe 9 should follow 7 in case 7 is lost. So then you've got 9.
There's no logic in this, Councillor Greening. It went out the door about 10 minutes ago.
Okay, no
So we've got dogs, moved by Councillor Mailing, seconded by Councillor Butter, is the 4th priority. All those in favour, please say aye. Aye. Against?
Against.
Hands for against. 1, 2, 3, 4. Carried. Which leaves the last one is priority number 5. So now that's all bundled up there, just to make things more complicated.
9.
9, yeah.
-5.
Just to make it all complicated and just to tidy up today, could I just add a 2A or put a 3 in, Kelsey, to just says that a request that the Chief Executive comes back with the clear process of how Tasman District Council can make remits to LGNZ in the future. Oh, you have it as action. Okay, then I'm happy with it as. So that being said, I'm happy to move, seconded by Councillor Hume. All those in favour, please say aye. Aye. Against? Carried. This will go down in all greatness of YouTube videos, I'm sure.
Sure.
Thank you, everybody, for your tolerance as we work through that. So I think it comes to closing karakia. Kia.
Final. Is it? Do we pass 3 or did we just pass 2?
We passed the whole lot. Yep.
Obviously.
Yep. Are we happy? Closing karakia. I don't think there's any knots. Kia hiki te kōrero, kia wātia, kia mama te manawa o te tangata, kia uki te ara. Mo tātou I ora nei, ko ronga, ki runga, kia tina, huia, tai here. Let the discussions be lifted. Clear away the ease of the hearts of the people. Keep focused on path of life. Peace is upheld. Say yes. Bind us. And so it is. Thank you, everybody. So the meeting is officially closed. Before you go, you would have seen